Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows. Flowers. Yo, Jimmy. F-stop. Sports zone. Punjab. And a Herculean effort. Okay, let's get back into this. Player one, you make the next selection as we continue. Holding reserves through winter, these globular underground buds let flowers like narcissus bloom early. Here's the response we were looking for. Bulbs. Player one, choose again. This large group of flowering plants attracts serious devotees like those who pay $10,000 for one Peruvian plant. Here's the response we were looking for. Orchids. Player one, you pick again, please. This mayflower of the buttercup family has a C version, too. Here's what we were looking for. The anemone. Player one, back to you for our next selection. A bouquet of a dozen cinquefoils ought to have a total of this many petals. Here's what we wanted. 60. Select again. L. vulgare is the oxide type of this common flower. Here's what we wanted. The daisy. You get to pick again, player one. In the comics, Jimmy Olsen was this hero's cub reporter pal. Here's the response we were looking for. Superman. We return to you, player one. A book by former President Jimmy Carter compared Israel's treatment of Palestinians to this policy of white South Africa. Okay, player one. Right. We return to you, player one. From 1957 to 1971, Jimmy Hoffa was the president of this labor union. We're talking about the Teamsters. Select again. The Jimmy was a popular SUV from this American automaker. It's player one. Good. Player one, choose again. He's Jerry Lee Lewis's famous evangelist cousin. Here's the response we were looking for. Jimmy Swaggart. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Proverbially, sometimes you can't see it for the trees. Okay, player one. Here's the correct response. Forest. Player one, pick again. These raised bars on the neck of a guitar help make the sounds of different notes. Here's the correct response. Frets. Player one, you pick again, please. The name of this Spanish dance form is Spanish for a type of pink bird. Let's hear it, player one. Good. Player one, back to you. One of the principal offensive players on a soccer or hockey team. Here's what we wanted. Forward. Player one, you pick again, please. To apply nitrogen to the soil to aid plant growth. Player one is correct. Player one, choose again. When a basketball player goes walking with the ball too long without dribbling, it's called this. Are we there yet? Let's hear it, player one.
Yeah!
We return to you, player one. Here's Kelly to start us off.
Sluggers try to get backspin on the ball because it makes air move faster over the upper surface, providing this elevating force on the underside.
Yes, player one? No, sorry. We're talking about lift. We return to you, player one. Answer, the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. How much are you going to wager, player one? Here is your Daily Double clue. Every spring, the Augusta National Golf Course hosts this famous tournament. That's not right. The correct response is the Masters. You get to pick again, player one. Tony Stewart lives life in the fast lane as one of the big names in this type of auto racing. Yes, player one? Right. Player one, you pick again, please. In 2004, she became the first soccer player to carry the U.S. flag for the Olympic closing ceremonies. Here's the response we were looking for. Mia Hamm. Player one, pick again. Since 1947, the historic region of Punjab has been divided between these two countries. The correct response is India and Pakistan. Player one, you pick again, please. As part of his easternmost conquests, this Greek's armies occupied the Punjab around 327 BC. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Player one, choose again. In the 1840s, this European power fought two costly wars over the Punjab before annexing the region outright. Yes, player one? Correct.
Yeah! Woo!
We return to you, player one. In this Kipling work, the title orphan's father was a sergeant in an Irish regiment in the Punjab. Here's what we wanted. Kim. Please pick again, player one. Predominant in the Punjab, this religion has origins in both Hinduism and Islam. Player one?
Yeah.
Good. Player one, pick again. This wife of Zeus sent two serpents to kill Hercules as a baby. He strangled them. Yes, player one? Here's what we wanted. Hera. We return to you, player one. Sarah?
As one of his labors, Hercules had to dog-nap this three-headed beast from Hades.
Yes, player one?
Yeah!
Hey, you're right. You again, player one. Hercules joined this husband of Medea for a journey aboard the Argo. The correct response is Jason. We return to you, player one. Hercules literally took the weight of the world off his shoulders when he needed help with some golden apples. Here's the response we were looking for. Atlas. Here's the $1,000 clue for you. Hercules had to wrestle with one of these creatures that fathered the Minotaur. Here's what we were looking for. A bull. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. In the dictionary. All about presidents. Baseball franchise shifts. Archipelagos. American playwrights. And science adjectives. All right, if you're ready, it's double Jeopardy time. And I'll hand it off to Sarah.
When a piece of ice detaches from an iceberg, the iceberg is said to be doing this. The same word describes the act of a cow giving birth.
Yes, player one? That's correct. We return to you, player one. The 26th president knew that an Arctophile loves these cuddly items. Player one? You are correct. Please pick again, player one. You might promenade along this flat stretch near the shore that also ends in N-A-D-E. We're talking about an esplanade. You again, player one. Someone who housels you administers this and is probably a priest. Here's the correct response. Communion. Player one. Pick again. From the Greek for scraped again, it's a type of paper used for medieval manuscripts. It's player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the correct response. Palimpsest. Player one, you pick again, please. JFK took his oath of office on a Bible that these people, his mother's family, had brought with them from Ireland. Here's the correct response. The Fitzgeralds. Player one, pick again. As a teenager in the 1880s, he played the helicon in the Marion People's Band in Marion, Ohio. We're talking about Warren Harding. Player one, back to you for our next selection. He was the only member of Washington's cabinet who went on to become president. Here's the correct response. Thomas Jefferson. Player one, choose again. Answer. The first of the two daily doubles. You are in the lead right now. You need to select your wager. All right, here's your clue. He was the second to die as the result of assassination. No. Here's what we wanted. James Garfield. Player one, you pick again, please. He was number 13. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Player one, you pick again, please. In 1958, the Dodgers and this team moved west to California. Here's the correct response. The Giants. Select again. The Braves spent 82 seasons in Boston and more than 40 in Atlanta, with a 13-season stop in this city. Here's what we were looking for. Milwaukee. Player one, choose again. In 1955, the Philadelphia Athletics moved to this city, where they remained for 13 seasons. Here's the correct response. Kansas City. Please pick again, player one. After the 1960 season, the Washington Senators left the capital and headed west to this town. Here's what we wanted. Minneapolis. Select again. In 1972, the new Washington Senators moved west and became this team. Here's what we were looking for. The Texas Rangers. You get to pick again, player one. Sitka is the largest city in this state's Alexander Archipelago. Here's the response we were looking for. Alaska. You get to pick again, player one. In 1965, the Cook Islands became self-governing in free association with this country that provides for their defense. Here's the response we were looking for. New Zealand. We return to you, player one. This Scottish archipelago is famous not only for its ponies, but also for a breed of dog. Here's what we wanted. The Shetland Islands. Player 1, you pick again, please. This Pacific Island country is named for a British sea captain, not Happy Days producer Gary. Here's the correct response. Marshall Islands. You again, Player 1. This Portuguese archipelago once served as a stop for the treasure galleons returning to Spain from America. Here's what we wanted. The Azores. Select again. True and false. David Mamet's no-nonsense book on this craft includes a chapter called Find Your Mark. Here's the correct response. Acting. Select again. This playwright once said that his Aunt Belle, a Sunday school teacher, was the prototype of Blanche Dubois. Here's what we wanted. Tennessee Williams. You again, Player 1. You might desire the rings and garters worn by this Desire Under the Elms author. They're in the Yale Library. Here's what we were looking for. Eugene O'Neill. Please pick again, Player 1. Fam and Yam was inspired by a meeting with this playwright for whom life was no picnic. Here's the correct response. William Inge. Player 1, back to you. Pittsburgh's African American Cultural Center was renamed for this piano lesson author, who was born in Pittsburgh. Here's the correct response. August Wilson. We return to you, Player 1. Because they're most active after dark, opossums are described as this, Latin for of the night. Okay, Player 1. Good. Please pick again, Player 1. Pumice, which floats on water because of little air pockets, is described as this, from the Greek for passage. Yes, Player 1? No, sorry. Here's the correct response. Porous. Player 1, pick again. This 10-letter adjective describes a medical condition that was present at birth. Let's hear it, Player 1.
Yeah!
Hey, you're right. Player 1, choose again. Here's Kelly to start us off.
Hydrogen and oxygen atoms bind tightly together to create water molecules by sharing electrons in this type of bond, from the Latin for strong together.
It's Player 1. Yes. And the last clue for $2,000. Answer. The other daily double. And you have the lead. What'll it be? And the daily double clue. Sarcasm aside, this word from the Greek for burning describes a substance that causes corrosion. No, sorry. Here's the correct response. Caustic. You are moving on to Final Jeopardy, which will continue after these messages. Time to get ready for Final Jeopardy, and today the category is this: musical theater. You need to select your wager. All right, players, this is what it comes down to. Here is the Final Jeopardy clue. He's the only songwriter to have Broadway premieres in every decade from the 1950s to the 2000s. His first was in 1957. Did you come up with the correct response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? Player 1, congratulations to you. We'll see you all next time.
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows. What's the word? College team nicknames. Name the novel. Slogans and mottos. Washington, Lincoln, or Obama. And rocks and minerals. Player one, where do we start? On a snail, an omatophore is a stalk with this at the end. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Player one, choose again. If you set some Chinese punk on fire, it's because Chinese punk is this, from the Latin for set on fire. Yes, player one? Nope. Sorry. Here's the response we were looking for. Incense. You get to pick again, player one. A shako is a stiff, cylindrical one of these worn by soldiers. It's player one. On the plus side again. You get to pick again, player one. It's the medium on which you're traveling if you're in a hoy. Let's hear it, player one. Nope. Sorry. Here's what we were looking for. Water. Player one, back to you. Answer. It's the Daily Double. You are in the lead right now. Player one, give us a wager. Here is your Daily Double clue. If you've got quinsy, also known as tonsillitis, you've got swelling in this part of your body. Good. We return to you, player one. UC Berkeley's teams are known as the Golden These. It's player one. Yeah! Good for you. You get to pick again, player one. Pepperdine's nickname is this, and some lap not too far away from the campus. Yes, player one? Correct. Player one, pick again. This word describing Penn State's Lions comes from an Algonquian term meaning single mountain. Okay, player one. Yep. Yeah. Woo. You get to pick again, player one. This University of Idaho nickname is from an old Germanic tribe whose name has come to mean troublemakers. Yes, player one? Right. Yeah. Woo. Player one, you pick again, please. The University of Texas at Arlington uses this nickname, shared by the NBA team closest to them. Player one? That's correct. Player one, back to you. 1937. I have chosen Mr. Baggins, and that ought to be enough for all of you. Player one? Yep. Player one, choose again. 1813. Happy for all her maternal feelings was the day Mrs. Bennet got rid of her two most deserving daughters. It's player one. Good. Player one. Pick again. 1932. In the 4,000 rooms of the center, the 4,000 electric clocks simultaneously struck 4. Player one?
Yeah!
That's it. Select again. 1902. The horror. The horror. Okay, player one. Good.
Yeah! Woo!
Select again. 1961. Once upon a time, there was a Martian named Valentine Michael Smith. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Right. We return to you, player one. It takes a lickin' and keeps on ticking. Player one. Good. Player one, back to you for our next selection. All the news that's fit to print. Let's hear it, player one. Right you are. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Choosy moms choose this. It's player one. Yep.
Yeah!
We return to you, player one, because I'm worth it. Okay, player one. That is correct. Player one, back to you. With a name like this one, it has to be good. It's player one.
Yeah!
That's correct. You again, player one. Was born a British subject. Player one. Correct. Please pick again, player one. The tallest. It's player one. Yep. You again, player one. Never lived in Illinois. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Is correct. Player one, choose again. Went to Occidental College and Columbia University. Player one. Good for you.
Yeah! Woo!
Player one, back to you. Received a patent. It's player one. That's not right. Here's the correct response. Abraham Lincoln. Player one, you pick again, please. For its state mineral, Colorado chose rhodochrosite, which is a deep shade of this primary color. Let's hear it, player one. That is correct. Player one, back to you. This blackboard rock is formed when shale is subjected to immense heat and pressure. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Correct. We return to you, player one. Galena is the principal ore of this metallic element, symbol PB. Yes, player one. You got it.
Yeah! Woo!
Please pick again, player one. Scoria, a dark glassy rock created from this, is heavier than pumice and has bigger holes. Yes, player one. That is correct. And the last clue for $1,000. On the Mohs scale, this mineral can be scratched by every other mineral. Yes, player one. That's it. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. And we have 2 daily doubles awaiting you in these categories. Historic women, pop gals, U.S. bodies of water, playing possum, Shakespeare's characters, and Brit Speak. Let's get back into this now. You have control of the board. This Secretary of State, whose first name is from a musical term, had originally planned to be a concert pianist. Player 1? Nope. Here's the correct response. Condoleezza Rice. Player 1. Pick again. Shortly after her disappearance, her publisher, husband George Putnam, released Last Flight, containing her diaries. Let's hear it, Player 1. That is correct. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. The Moses of her people. She helped hundreds of slaves escape along the Underground Railroad. Okay, Player 1. Yes. We return to you, Player 1. She met her beloved teacher Anne Sullivan in 1887. Yes, Player 1. Yes. You again, Player 1. This first American woman in space heads a company geared to girls who are interested in science and math. Yes, Player 1. You are correct. Select again. The first 5 singles off her album, Teenage Dream, reached #1 on Billboard's Hot 100 list. Let's hear it, Player 1. No, sorry. Here's the response we were looking for. Katy Perry. You get to pick again, Player 1. This Girl Like Me and Disturbia songstress was born in Barbados. It's Player 1. That's right. Way to go. Player 1. Pick again. It wasn't déjà vu when this member of Destiny's Child sang with Jay-Z on the song Déjà Vu. Here's what we were looking for. Beyoncé Knowles. You again, Player 1. Fans go ape over this gal, born Stephanie Germanotta, who hit #1 with Bad Romance. Player 1. That's right. Way to go. Player 1, you pick again, please. In 2005, she topped the album charts with The Emancipation of Mimi. Okay, Player 1. Good. Player 1, back to you. Admiralty Inlet and the Hood Canal are the 2 main branches of this irregular inlet in the northwest corner of Washington State. It's Player 1. Yep. We return to you, Player 1. Although only about 1.5 square miles in area, Lake Conneaut, south of Erie, is this state's largest natural lake. Okay, player one. Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. We're talking about Pennsylvania. Player one, choose again. The Gila River joins this river near Yuma, Arizona. Player one.
Yeah!
Yep. Player one, back to you for our next selection. One of the world's longest multiple arch dams helped form this state's Grand Lake of the Cherokees. Yes, player one. Right you are.
Yeah! Woo!
Player one, pick again. This river that connects Lake St. Clair and Lake Erie provides part of the border between Michigan and Ontario. Yes, player one.
Yeah!
Hey, you're right. Player one, back to you. Like wombats and bandicoots, possums are members of this group of about 270 species. Player one. No. Here's what we wanted. Marsupials. Player one, you pick again, please. Chuck Berry knows this sweet little number of days is the typical gestation period of a possum. Let's hear it, player one. Right. You again, player one. Stick to it. In 1948, this Walt Kelly possum hit the funny pages. Player one. Yes. Select again. Australia and New Guinea are home to the 5 species of this type of possum that may weigh as little as 1/4 of an ounce. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Please pick again, player one. Answer. The first of the Daily Doubles. You are in the lead right now. What are you going to wager? And the Daily Double clue. The flying possum doesn't fly. Well-developed flaps of skin along its flanks have it known by this 6-letter term. You got it. Player one, back to you. There's something in his soul o'er which his melancholy sits on brood is said of this title character. Let's hear it, player one. Nope. Here's what we wanted. Hamlet. Select again. Friar John gets quarantined, so he never delivers that really important letter that this friar wrote to Romeo. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. Player one, choose again. She's in Troy when she tells Pandarus, "Go hang yourself, you naughty mocking uncle." Let's hear it, player one. Good. Player one, you pick again, please. This man boasts, "He that knows better how to tame a shrew, now let him speak." Yes, player one? Here's the correct response. Petruchio. Player one, you pick again, please. The appropriately named Servilius is a servant to this title guy of Athens. It's player one. That's not right. The correct response is Timon. You get to pick again, player one. Nigel likes his eggs with rashers, also known as this. It's player one. Hey, you're right. Player one, choose again. It's the British word for a merry-go-round or a traffic circle. Okay, player one. Correct. Player one, back to you for our next selection. An all-male school wouldn't have an alumni reunion, but a gathering of these, part of the network of them. Let's hear it, player one. Right. Player one, back to you. It can mean having a healthy rosy color or be a British intensifier like bloody. Okay, player one. Yes.
Yeah! Woo!
And the last clue for $2,000. Answer? The second daily double. And you're in the lead now. Player one, please select your wager. And the clue. Perspex is a British name for this trademarked acrylic plastic. You got it. You will participate in Final Jeopardy right after this. Final Jeopardy still to come, and here's the category. Championship sports. What are you going to wager? Now, let's reveal the Final Jeopardy clue. In 2007, this university became the first to hold national titles in both football and basketball in the same year. Did you come up with the correct response? With that correct response, you will gain. This makes you our new champion, player one, so congratulations. So long, everybody.